Angela Mitchell didn't just walk into that boardroom. She walked into a lion's den. A black woman, brilliant, accomplished, and sharp as a blade, yet instantly dismissed as just the secretary. They laughed at her, ignored her, called her sweetheart instead of by her name. But Angela didn't flinch because what they didn't know is that in exactly 45 days she'd return, not as a hopeful consultant, but as the federal liaison in charge of evaluating their $300 million contract. And this time, the room would go silent when she walked in. You're watching Aura Tales, where every story exposes injustice and ends with truth and triumph. If you believe power doesn't always look the way they expect it to, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's begin. Angela, dressed in a charcoal blazer and modest pumps, sits poised at the edge of a sleek glass table. Her resume, impeccable. Stanford MBA. 15 years in strategic operations. Successful turnaround of a Fortune 100's global logistics unit, but across from her, the all-white, all-male executive panel barely looks up. So, Angela, you worked in procurement? Yes. I led procurement strategy for a multi-billion-dollar federal supply chain project. Reduced costs by 18% over 2 years. Federal? Oh, so you're a government girl, explains the suit. No offense, but we're looking for someone who understands real business, corporate pressure, private sector fire. You sure this isn't a bit much for you? I believe you invited me because your private sector fire keeps getting your contracts terminated. I fixed that. A brief silence. Look, sweetheart, this isn't a fit, but thank you for your time. We'll keep you in mind. For support roles. Angela rises without a word, collects her briefcase, and walks out with quiet dignity. But her jaw tightens just slightly before the door closes. Angela's best friend Renee meets her at a downtown cafe. Angela stirs her coffee in silence. Let me guess. You were too strong, too opinionated, and not what they had in mind. Close. I was a sweetheart who didn't understand real business. You know what? Forget them. You've done more than all those suits combined. You'll land somewhere better. Actually, I don't think I'm going to wait to land somewhere. I think it's time they land in front of me. Angela steps into a sleek federal building. Her name now etched on the door. Angela Mitchell, Federal Liaison, Office of Strategic Contract Review. She's been appointed to oversee government partnerships with private contractors, specifically firms seeking major government funding. Thick file lands on her desk. Bidding contract, Stratacore Systems, proposal, 300 Mir logistics upgrade. Angela freezes. That's them. The same company. Mark, Chuck. The same men who said she didn't understand real business. Her eyes narrow and then she smiles. The executives gather around the same polished table. A presentation screen shows bold numbers. 300 million federal bid, final review. Mark struts in confidently. All right, gentlemen, we're about to close the biggest deal of Q4. Got the suits coming in today, let's show them we mean business. The lead liaison is already here. She's reviewing the proposal in the briefing room. She? Yes, sir. Ms. Angela Mitchell. A dead pause. Chuck nearly drops his coffee. Wait, Angela? That Angela, the secretary? Angela sits at the head of the table. This time she isn't in charcoal gray, she's in deep navy with gold cuffs, commanding, powerful, silent. Mark and Chuck walk in like schoolboys summoned to the principal's office. Angela, Ms. Mitchell, quite the surprise. Not a surprise, Mr. Talbot, just a return. Let's begin, shall we? Look, I hope there's no, conflict of interest here. We've had some meetings in the past. Yes. I remember. You told me I didn't understand real business. Let's see if your numbers prove otherwise. Angela opens the folder. Red marks litter the proposal. Page 17. Your cost assumptions are unrealistic. Page 29. Non-compliance with federal sustainability requirements. And page 42. You've duplicated vendor invoices to inflate projected savings. Tell me, Mr. Talbot, what part of real business is this? Now hold on, this is all standard bid structuring. Our consultant signed off on every page. Your consultant isn't accountable to the Department of Justice. I am. But this deal, this is months in the making. You can't just... I'm not canceling your bid, Mr. Harding. I'm forwarding it for federal investigation. It's out of my hands now. Angela gathers the files and rises. Next time, when a black woman walks into your boardroom, don't confuse competence with coffee. Duty. Mark slumps in his chair. Chuck just stares blankly. Angela walks out with the weight of a woman who no longer needs their validation. Angela and Renee clink glasses on a rooftop balcony. The city lights below shimmer. So, what did you say when you walked out? I didn't have to say anything. The silence was enough. Toby, the boss they never saw coming. To never shrink just to fit in their frame. Angela Mitchell was never just the secretary. She was the storm behind the silence. The mind they overlooked. The justice they never expected. And when the moment came, she didn't raise her voice. She raised the standard. Remember, power doesn't always wear a title, and respect must never be begged. It must be earned. If Angela's story inspired you, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more tales of truth and transformation. This is Aura Tales, where justice finds its voice.